Hey everybody, it's Time the Red, and welcome back to Moe Era. Right then, last we left off, we were in the weird dreamscape, trippy, I don't know, oh, fuck off. Right. After, apparently, according to the achievement I got, completing, Marta's route. So, I think it's a dream, I think it's not a dream. I'm curious to see what happens if I say it's not a dream, because I think that was what she said, like, you can wake up and try calling her. I don't know what that means. I don't... So I'm going to do that first, actually. Oh my. I didn't expect that from you. Very well, Ad, let's talk. Is there anything you want to know? Where am I? What's going on? You're in my home. Welcome. You're my guest, Dad. Oh, no, no, I had them mixed up. Never mind. Well, oh well. Now you're probably thinking to yourself, what's going on? It turned out the story of your life is actually empty. As promised, we made those 4 days very different. We thought it would make you realize what you want to do with your life. Math, arts, business, well, you name it, you've seen it for yourself. Guess what? Nothing worked, as always. I made sure it's not a mistake, by the way. I've done a test run of your life, so to speak. I think you caught a glimpse of it in your room several minutes ago. Oh, yeah. That. It's interesting that the photo you had on the table, it remained as the brightest memory you've ever had in your entire life. People often reminisce about the good old days, but why is it always high school, university? Why not something else? Maybe because in a lot of, for some people, that was the last time before, well, at least the high school, you know, why it's such a popular, you know, point of fixation, why you see it so often in, like, entertainment media, is that maybe it was the last time a lot of people felt like, well, the last time, like, before the pressures of adulthood really set in, you know? Even if you had bullshit schoolwork and, you know, assuming your life outside of school wasn't, you know, terrible for one reason or another. It was the last moment before, while you were still, you know, a kid or a teenager or whatever. Like I said, before job, taxes, blah, blah, blah. Yeah. The rigors of getting out into the wider world. I can only assume people usually plan and think big in life when they're young. That's true. But life doesn't care much about living to their expectations. I tell you what, I wanted to be a jet pilot when I was a kid, but then... This is about but then, Ad. Oh well. By the way, I thought you'd be interested in knowing who I really am. I thought I knew. Allow me to introduce myself properly, Ad. My real name is Ajustea, Distributor of Rewards and Punishments. Ajustea. Wait a minute. Hold on here. That sounds actually familiar, like it's... In Greek mythology, Adrastea, which means inescapable, also Adrastea, Adrasta, was a Cretan nymph and daughter of Melisaeus, who was charged by a ray with nurturing the infant Zeus in secret to protect him from his father Cronus. Adrastea may be interchangeable with Sibyl, a goddess of childbirth. You can call the system of patron god, but the last thing he needs... Huh. Interesting. The name means inescapable. Okay. I'm not in charge here. Here. You said it's your home, right? I'm not the only one who lives here. It's the home of the... Okay. The name is Moe Era, but when you put it like that, it's something Moe Era, and it turns into like Moe Era or something. Home Moe Era. I misspelled that again. It's the home of Morai? The Moirai. The Fates. Okay. Yeah, there you go. Right. Huh. Wait a fucking second. I was trying to see if any of the names had, like, a connection to them. Oh. Okay, I think I see where the names came from then. So Clotho, Roman equivalent was Nona the Ninth, who was originally a goddess called upon the 9th month of pregnancy. Spun the thread of life from her distaff onto her spindle. Lachesis, or Lachesis, maybe? It's since it's Greek. A lotter or drawer of lots. Measured thread of life allotted to each person. Roman equivalent was decima. So, Sema, maybe? And Atropos, inexorable or inevitable, unturning, was the cutter of the thread of life. Her Roman equivalent was Morta, the dead one. Marta. Huh. Okay, that's kind of cool. I'm looking after the 3 fates of the Moe Era. The 3 sisters who decide the fate of every human. Meet Nana. She wasn't the one you spent the most of your time with. Or should I call her Clotho the Spinner? Okay, actually, I should bring that back up just to make sure I got it right. I think I did, but here, let me bring it back up just in case. Yeah, Nona, or Nana, Clotho the Spinner. Sure, that name doesn't suit her at all. She also goes by the name of Nona. Nana is simply the cuter version of it. Clotho or Nana is responsible for spinning the thread of human life. By the way, sometimes we get bored with this and start writing on paper. That's what we've done with the story of your life. Like I told you before, all 3 sisters are responsible for your fate. However, Nana is the first one to assume who you're going to be in life. A farmer, a rock superstar, or both. That's why Nana often looks bored. She can guess the ending from the start. Nana finds little joy in making forecasts. Moreover, her projections are often foggy or show nothing but emptiness. Nana suspects herself of doing a mediocre job. She says it's the reason why so many people live exactly that, a mediocre life. From the side, she's even more annoyed at people doing nothing to get better. That's why she calls them non-playable characters. She likes fun and cute things because it helps her unwind. Enter Sema. She wasn't the one you spent the most of your time with. Well, not this time. Her real name is Lachesis, the Allotter. She also goes with the name of Decima. Give it the go, and then you have Sema. Okay, suits her better, don't you think? She decides how much lifetime is allowed for each person. Having all the time in the world on her hands makes her the richest one. Her observing nature is accompanied by calmness and patience. Sema enjoys small things as they tend to make a big difference. She's very delicate because she knows that one wrong step can ruin your life. When we're bored and use paper instead of threads, she's the one to write on it. As Sema watches over your whole life, she gets really attached over time. A human life is finite, so Sema always loses her friends in the end. Friends are temporary. Loneliness is eternal for Sema. Maybe because of that, she developed a somewhat distant, cold, distant attitude. However, deep down, she's a warm, caring soul. Finally, here's Marta. Hello. You got to know her quite well, I'll give you that. I said finally on purpose. Wait, did you? I didn't. Her real name is Atropos the Inflexible. She's also known by the name of Morta. Morta. This name reminds you of death, right? That's what it means, the dead one. Marta thought the name, not the same, so one that it was changed. Now, death is actually her domain. She's the oldest one among the 3 fates. She cuts the thread of life. In your case, she just showed her tear that paper. And she's very short-tempered. And, that's right, inflexible. Okay, now I see why she was... Okay. Marta's a really hard worker. She can't allow herself to relax as people die every day, every second. As Marta's mission is the grimmest, she can look rude from time to time. Few people love Marta because of her job, and those who do, well, there are people who want to die. Must be tough for Marta. She has a fragile heart underneath her callous exterior. Also, Marta often feels inferior as she only excels in destruction. She feels that she lacks talent to do anything else. Well, I mean, it's the whole, like, you know, the creator, preserver, destroyer. The destroyer isn't necessarily like obliterate. It's not destruction in the sense of tearing down something, you know, and completely annihilate. It's, you have to look at it from the perspective of taking down the old so that something new can take its place, you know, replenishment, the cycle of beginning, life, end, and then on and on. Well, that's pretty much it of the introduction, Sad. What do you think? Strangely enough, the girls always reminded me of someone. What's so strange about that? You met the three sisters of fate. Each one of them is like a collective character, you see. Okay, what about that room with the arcade machine in it? What are you talking about? I do a quick recap of my dreams. It's pretty funny. Do you want an honest answer? I don't know. See, a human brain always tries to justify everything. It went into a safe mode right after we first met, so he made up this room. But hey, you have a great imagination. It was an empty room with a slot machine in it. You too. Oh dear. Why do humans always waste everything I give them? I've actually done my best. 3 beautiful girls, new countries, interesting activities. But while you were busy playing that slot machine, time passed by. Every day was like a series of episodes, poorly sewn together. That's how the vast majority of people treat life, Ad. In turn, life also treats them accordingly. If I were to grade the lives of others, a series of episodes poorly sewn together deserves nothing more than a C grade. Being envious of others, seeking a reason to justify your own failure, arguing that you're still young and can afford to relax until you're well in your 30s, and to give you an A grade for sowing your own life. Even if there's no happy ending, there's something to remember. Hey! I do want to say hello. Oh, look who's here. How are you doing, Taiki? Swear to God. I need a refresher. Who are you again? Taiki. Luck. Okay, yeah. Presiding tutelary deity who governed the fortune and prosperity of a city, its destiny. Okay, crap, yeah. The Greek historian Polybius believed that when no cause could be discovered to events such as floods, droughts, frost, or even in politics, then the cause of these events may be fairly attributed to Taiki. Okay, well. Luck, so I guess bad luck as well. Yeah. How are you doing, Taiki? Great as always. I believe you two have already met, Ad. Yep, he was lucky enough to witness me. Luck is all you enjoy talking about, don't you? Taiki represents chance, fate, and fortune. Chaos, to put it short. I think Eris is more directly related to chaos. So, all what you said before about the story of my life. So what? What's the big deal? Well, it's a long story. On the one hand, I'm on good terms with time. And do you know which way this planet goes? Last I heard, it goes round. Close enough. Oh! It goes round and round and down. We're going through a downward spiral, Ad. Neither good or bad. It's a natural cycle. What has a beginning has an end. Rinse and repeat. Sadly, the end of the cycle always tends to be quite vicious. Let me give you a few examples. Dark Ages, the Great Plague, the Renaissance, the Great Depression, World War II, the post-war economic boom. These are the ages I'm talking about. These are the ages of man I'm talking about. Almost every mythology or religion has something about it. Say, a journey from the Golden to the Iron Age in Greek mythology. Peace and harmony prevailed during the Golden Age. Good and noble people were said to live among gods. In the Iron Age, though, humans live in existence of toil and misery. Children dishonor their parents. Brother fights with brother. Might makes right. Does it ring any bells, Ad? You know what all cycles have in common closer to the end, Ad? Humans stop being considerate of others. You can understand your purpose in life only after you understand that of others. Their purpose is no better than or worse than yours. Maybe there's no purpose at all, but you never know until you try to find one. And you had Ermi to act as a mirror, if you know what I'm talking about. Maybe you're getting closer to the end of yet another cycle right now. That's what we're trying to understand. You can call it a laughable theory, but truth to be told, making something laughable stops people from believing in it. Moreover, if you're a believer, it makes them laugh at you. No one likes to be a clown, so you're likely to change your mind. Do alternate sources of energy exist? What a joke, right? By the way, if it was true, the oil market would be no more. Funny coincidence. Just saying, you know. Wait, what? Okay, I didn't process some of that because I was just reading it. I don't know if you were being facetious there or serious about the whole, like, if there were legitimate alternate energy sources, the oil market wouldn't exist anymore. Whatever, moving on. It seems that more and more lives became meaningless and empty. We decided to see if we can fix it, so we observed quite a lot of people. Sadly, we failed each time, and you're no exception. Possible to change in just 4 days, or keep listening. I mean, change can happen in an instant. Change might take time to actually, well, it might take time to actually affect that change. But even deciding to try and then actually trying can be the difference. Even if it takes time for it to show, the difference is that in that short time is when it started, when, you know, things started to move in a different direction for you. But I don't know but again, I don't know what the game thinks is the right answer or not, you know, whatever. Whatever. Now, usually people ask me, how do I define a meaningful life? In fact, everything you do has and hasn't any meaning at the same time. The meaning of life is to give life meaning. It's really the only discernible meaning to life, is the meaning that you give it. Objectively speaking, a carpenter serves more purpose than a philosopher, because a carpenter creates tangible things. But even that is debatable. I tend to think everything's fine as long as it abides with those basic values. Basic values. The fundamentals. Look, you probably know them yourself. Some people call it common sense. And you think life's getting worse with every generation. I'm afraid so. Come on. Nowadays people know like 100 times more than they used to. Don't mistake accumulated information with a high plane of intelligence. What do you mean? Let's take spoken language as an example. Have you ever tried watching old news reports, live footages, and so on? Give it a try. You'll be amazed at the richness of vocabulary and clarity of speech. Language evolves over time. There's a difference between an understanding of language and grammar and then words falling out of use. That's why there are words that literally are considered obsolete. Because language evolves. It changes. Every language has. It doesn't mean that Old English is better than modern English or anything like that. I mean, like, Latin is basically a dead language. It's really only spoken in terms of, you know, the academics or in certain religious circles. That means nothing. And if you're talking about slang, again, that's just an evolution of language. It's a colloquialism. It's part of culture. And you'll get different kinds of it in different areas, different regions, different places, different people. That's how it evolves. That's how it develops. That's how you have regional dialects. So you can have a group of languages that maybe have a common root and maybe have some similarities, but are ultimately different from one another, or have, influenced others or been influenced by others, and so they change. This is meaningless. This means nothing. What else do you expect from news anchors? Fair enough, let's take an average Joe from the crowd. He'll still handle the conversation at the level of a modern college graduate. Let's move on to logical fallacies. Before your opinion on something... Okay, sorry about that phone call. Right, before your opinion on something more often than not had to be supported by solid proof. Otherwise, no one would even bother to listen. Today, you can always go with just because, and it's good enough. Huh? Okay, she was talking about logical fallacies, I think, and... Just because? No? What? I mean, I do see people doing that sometimes, but usually it's typically pretty, stupid arguments. But I mean, there have probably always been people like that. It's just kind of a human thing. It's your right to express an opinion. Maybe that's how the evolution works. Just dropping the difficulty level. Pretty interesting concept, I should say. Dropping the difficulty level? The difficulty of life, you mean? Yes. Anyway, even if not for the people, the world today is great because of the freedom. We have everything we have everything. We can do anything. We could do more in certain situations, but the world is set up in a kind of a shitty way. I think that people handle the scarcity well, but abundance is the killer. Only if people are complacent with abundance. If you actually are, mindful and make preparations just in case, then you have a better chance of faring when things go poorly, because it's even as good as you can set up a large and what's the word I'm looking for? I mean, I wanted to say efficient, but that's not quite. Sure, just go with it. You can set up a large and efficient system that's very robust, but unless you and even have a lot of fail safes in place, you're careful about what you do to try and maintain it, to keep things from slipping. It's probably going to happen eventually. That's not so much a pessimistic thing as it's just like things change. You can't you can't always expect the unexpected. Even you can make plans, but it's best to have a fallback, which is well, you can just try to have as many fallbacks as possible. Really, paranoia. But I see what you mean here. Yeah, the more you have, sometimes you stop thinking about what happens if that all goes away, or you don't try to make sure that when and that happens, that you're prepared for it. Or that at least for a little bit. I don't get it. Say the internet, the holy grail of our generation. Freedom of information, communication, you name it. Let me guess, you want to say it's used as a source of mindless fun instead. I won't, there's nothing wrong with having a little fun. No, the internet did something much worse. It set a benchmark for life quality. In what way? What? Imagine living in a small town. You don't have much, yet you're happy. Now you go on the internet and see the people living differently. It makes you feel uneasy. What, are you a loser? Are you wasting your life? Are you talking about people living vicariously through others? Or that's more of a personal issue. I suppose in some cases it could be a cultural thing, but that's placing more value on, what you have and what you don't have and what you think that you need to be happy. Because this person has it and they're happy, aren't they? So therefore I need it too. That's not the internet's fault. Well, okay. The internet helps spread that around a lot more, obviously, but it's not the internet's fault. It's more of the messenger, and so I shoot it. But even a small town girl wants to be a princess, a boy, well, a king. Sure, the internet made everyone think they're deserving applicants. No? Didn't make everyone think they're deserving. It helped spread it so maybe more people thought they were deserving, but there have always been people who, think they deserve more. The world owes them. That's just, again, that's kind of a human thing. You see the disparity the same moment you turn on your phone. By the way, it'll only get worse over time now that I think about it. Why? Because of the automation. A lot of jobs you see right now won't be needed. Meaning even higher disparity in the near future. Oh, and don't forget the instant gratification. No one wants to wait for the crops to grow nowadays. Maybe you simply have a conservative outdated view on the world, Taya. Maybe so. Now, as far as the freedom of speech, I can say pretty much anything as long as it's not offensive. That's why you have nothing but hello and bye. Maybe we have less freedom compared to when no one cared about it. I'd say it's just changed what you can say, what you can't, or what you shouldn't. So, in such a, the freedom of speech is more along the lines of you can say what you want, but be prepared for the consequences. Because if somebody, regardless of what, you know, direction they lean in culturally, if you say something, someone's going to be pissed off about it. You know, there's going to be someone out there who doesn't like what you have to say. End of story. That's just going to happen. And that's, again, that's kind of always been a thing. It just, with the wider availability of communication and information, it's just, now it just it is probably more widespread, and, you know, and it's more easily visible, and more people have access to more what other people are saying more often. So yeah. It's hard to believe in what you say. I never said I want you to believe me. Tell me one thing. Have you ever thought that something is really off about this world? There's a lot of things off about this world. A lot, yeah. Well then please tell me. How on earth was I supposed to change anything in just 4 days? That's right, only 4 days. It's nothing. If I give you 2 weeks, what would be different? Based on my experience, life can be condensed in a few days just fine. Come on, I need at least a year. No, you don't. If you have that much as well, you might end up procrastinating. Wait a second. Do you want to say that if I give you a year, you would try to fill the story of your life? You'd work on improving your life every day for a whole year. Do you really mean it? I didn't say that! This question is kind of... I don't know if I'd say it's loaded. It's just... This is one of those, like, New Year's resolutions things. It's just like, you can say, but are you going to walk the walk into... Or, you know, or you know you... And again, I didn't even pick this choice. I just kind of had to. Okay, so out of curiosity, what does yes do? Wow. Believe it or not, you're actually the first one to say yes. Because anyone who says yes is probably lying. Not just to you, but to themselves. Even the most dedicated... Okay, you know what? Maybe this is a little bit of my misanthropy coming out. A little bit of it. The tiny bit that's ingrained that I don't like. But it's... People slack off. It happens, okay? A year, huh? Alright. Deal. What are you gonna do, by the way? Well... Look, idea. The more I help you. Let's treat your next year as a small life, as a full circle. Anna will give her advice on where to start. Seema knows better than everyone how to keep going. And Marta's knowledgeable about the end. No, but she doesn't... true, but she doesn't really know when to quit, technically speaking. That kind of advice is personal, so you need to know the girls better. Good news is, you've already learned quite a bit about one of them. Now, I can't rewind your life, but... I think Taiki has some tricks up her sleeve. Leave it to me. As soon as we finish things here, you'll be able to start all over again. Worry not, I won't make you go through the whole 4 days. It's gonna be a breeze. What? Let's try, Dad. But first, let me call her. Who, my sister? Oh, no, Marta. Hey, Ed. It's great to see you here. I like the flower and the ribbon thing. Now, now that you know my true identity, are you disappointed? I'm not. Are you trying to say you don't miss me at all? How could you? Wait, just kidding. Hey, I enjoyed my time yesterday. Mainly because of your company, you know. You look great in that dress. This one? Yes. You don't think I look cute? Looked? Then, I'll set this if you want. It's up to you. Whatever, fuck it. But don't you forget who I'm the one who deals with death. Anyway, please treasure this year ahead of you. I'm sure you'll start doing a whole lot of new things. However, Starting something is less complicated than finishing it. Ooh, depends on if you're me. In my case, finishing something's actually kind of easy. Getting started. How come? Even the most interesting activity gets boring when you do it every day. Routine is the killer, and it takes 90% of your time. Yeah, I always wanted to do something creative. You have no fucking idea. Even the most creating process is no exception to this rule. Yep. How long does it take you to imagine something? A few seconds, I guess. Sure, let's go with that. Well, I mean, yeah, kind of, yeah. It's going further than that is what's hard. But then you need hours to put your image on paper. And years of practice to become good at it. Sounds tough, right? So tough that people break down when they realize it. At the same time, that's why mediocre products often rise to the top. Because they're at least finished. And everyone can generate ideas, if you're able to implement them. Being an unappreciated genius is an excuse for the lack of perseverance. No. Only if you call yourself that. There are plenty of people out there who do persevere, who try really hard and make really good stuff that just don't get a lot of attention. For any number of reasons. It happens sometimes, and it sucks, but you know, maybe they can, their audience can grow if people spread word about them. If it depends. It varies. It's not a set thing. You heard the 10,000 hour rule? They say that a success in any field is simply a matter of practicing. Practicing for 10,000 hours to be more precise. Therefore, during this year, please work on your goal every day. You won't see any progress overnight. Think long term. And I hate to say it, but sometimes you have to admit you're still no good. That's how life works. If that's the case, start something new and keep on going. Even Michael Jordan missed a lot of clutch shots. Yet you remember him for the ones he made. Thanks. I'll try my best. Don't you go disappointing me, you hear? Oh, don't worry. I will. Start right now, Ad. Oh. I'll be there. I'll be there. Waiting. I'll be there. Okay. Huh. Continues highlighted. Interesting. Well, thank you very much for watching. I hope you enjoyed this, and I'll see you, I guess, next time? I was planning on actually just maybe dropping the series after the first route, but they said, like, you wouldn't have to go for the full 4 days. So I'm curious to see how it's actually going to be set up from here on out. So I'll probably do at least another video or two. I don't know. We'll see. But in any case, like I said, thank you very much for watching. I hope you enjoyed, and I'll see you next time.